Are we live? Yes, we are live. Hello everybody, it's your boy. And well, after a couple of weeks of, was it a couple of weeks? I can't exactly remember now, it's been a long time. I've been too busy doing essays that I've just now finished, guys, so that means there will be more content, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks until I have to start doing the next batch of essays. So during this time, I've just been doing my own thing today, and, well, my DMs explode. And what do I get? I get this. Dankula responded. But not to everybody who criticised him, not the main person who criticised him. The other person who criticised him. Me. I was expecting something along the lines of a response, but not specifically to me. But I have my theories as to why he's specifically responded to me. My video was not the best, it was not perfect. It wasn't like Louis Levi, who's really good at this stuff and he's actually more of an expert on Japanese culture and stuff like that than I am. And even Dank is more versed in those things than I am. But I was trying to argue really more from the principle than anything else. And I've heard a few things about the video. I've seen a little bit of it for myself. So I think it's worth a response. I think it's something I should respond to. Everybody wants me to. I might as well. And I see his fans have also been giving me some good feedback. Thanks, guys. Appreciated. But I'm going to just get the chat up before we get things going. I'm going to be a boomer for a little bit. Don't worry, guys. It'll be up so you can see yourselves. Alright. Here we are. That's super chats. Here we are. Pop out chat. Here we are. I always rush my streams, everybody knows this. But hey, you know, impromptu is my game. That's how I roll, man. Here we go. Let me get that. There we are. Should be seeing that soon. There we go. Don't know if you're a football fan, let alone a City fan, but they've just been gifted the softest penalty. Well, you know. David Sherratt is fapping to what happened to the kill stream. Yes, he is. I made a video on that. So, nice beard. Stop it. This is getting shaved off soon. Now I'm going to be even more roast-worthy because my beard is not a proper beard. But hey, whatever. So anyway, I heard I got roasted, but I also heard that I made him look bad. Dankula, that is. But I don't know yet. We'll see. So let's go. Let's go.
Probably is about time that I addressed the lolly shitstorm that I started on Twitter over a few tweets that I made.
He doesn't sound ill, does he? I remember you saying he was ill recently. He doesn't sound ill.
It seemed to have upset an awful lot of people. The reason it has taken so long is that after coming back from Comic-Con...
Yeah, he does sound a bit ill, actually.
And I appear to have contracted the weeb disease while I was there. So I've spent the last week coughing up bits of my lung and various other internal
yeah, you do actually sound it.
organs, which is why, yes, I am going to do this video today in a onesie.
In a onesie.
Fuck off.
Hey, I'm not judging.
And
also, Christmas. Oh, it's a Christmas onesie too. God, Dankula is one of those people who likes Christmas to come early, damn it. Oh no. I get this bad enough in my own job.
What better way to address the lolly shitstorm than replying to a 200 IQ individual, a man with...
Oh, here we go now. I obviously wanted to present myself as a galaxy brain, you know? That was the whole point of the video, right?
a brain with many, many, many wrinkles.
Many, many, many wrinkles, you know. More than Dankula, apparently. That's what I think, you know. But, you know, don't take it from me. Take it from the guy here.
Your boy Charming Man.
So you do know who I am? Yeah, he says later on that I'm a nobody that he barely remembers. Not as good as my title.
People really didn't like me acting like a bit of a shitlord when it came to the whole lolly argument online, even after...
You mean a hypocrite?
After I dropped the shitlordery and opened myself up for further discussion, people were still too butthurt, so that offer wasn't enough for them. So
we were butthurt. We were butthurt, remember? We criticised it because we were butthurt, not because we saw something that was I don't know, I'm logically, what's the word, inconsistent from you. I personally wasn't upset, just disappointed, but hey, whatever. I'm the galaxy brain guy here, so I obviously responded to you because I I think of myself very highly, whereas you don't, you know.
So I decided, fuck it, I would just leave it.
You know, like, you're the one basically reducing everybody to butthurt weebs who like to wank to kids. Yeah, I'm the one who has the superiority thing. Okay.
And walk away. But Charming Man, do you remember him? He decided to make a video where he
Do you remember me? You apparently don't, but you seem to remember me.
puts his foot in his mouth, misrepresents my points.
Do I now?
Ignores everything I said after initial comments and so on, just so that he can...
Or did I just not see those things? You're now assuming things. Assuming is not an argument.
sort of have a chance at having a point. Well, that's fine then. You want to have a chat? Let's.
But the thing is, you're not going after Louis. You decided to go after me.
Have a fucking chat then, wee man.
And also Dankula weighed in with his hot take, and that's what we're responding to. Your hot take, Dankula.
You can go ahead and respond to that hot take, the one that I retracted. In fact, you
didn't really retract it. You did not retract. That was not a retraction.
read the retraction out.
That wasn't a retraction. I didn't read that as a retraction. Does anybody else read that as a retraction? He didn't. I wouldn't say that was a retraction.
In this video, so you're making an entire video about a retracted statement. So
Well, not really.
you go ahead and address that hot take while I work on addressing the like fucking 9 that you make in this video.
You might remember me. You might not, Dankula. We streamed together twice. Once on Tail Features stream, and the night that shall not be named. Thank you.
You mean the night that Failure Accomplished roasted you so hard that you nearly cried?
That's the joke, Dankula. And also, I was pissed.
That's the only reason I remember you.
So, I'm responding to you, and just so you know, it's not from a place of hate. It's not even from a place of disrespect. It's simply disagreement.
And because it's good content.
No, purely because of the principle. I didn't do it for the views, really. In fact, it got no more views than I usually get, to be fair. I really did genuinely just want to have a discussion. But you know, you assumed my intentions. That's fine.
Come on, man. We're all YouTubers here.
I know we're all YouTubers here, and to be honest, you know, maybe that's in the back of your mind, but genuinely, my first thoughts were, this is something that I would like to talk about, not necessarily the views.
Let's just be honest with each other.
But don't worry, you can't play the pedo games on me, because I'm not a pedo. I'm a regular normal, I'm not a normal person, but I try to be normal. I don't like lowly, I don't like things to do with children. In fact, I don't quite like children very much. I can't stand them.
Neither do I. Yet, here we are.
Here we are, man. So now we've got that out of the way, let's start. So Count Dankula is a well-known fighter for freedom of speech. He has been literally oppressed by our own government, plus his own devolved government. You know what, in many ways he's lucky he even has a devolved government to be oppressed by. I don't. So he should know firsthand, in fact he does know firsthand, what it's like to be the victim of draconian laws to do with offence, specifically gross offensiveness. And for some reason he took it upon himself to go on the opposite side of this argument between Torba and... I really don't like watching myself, guys. God, I really, really do not like watching myself. I hate it. But anyway, let's look at the chat so I can just like not look at myself. You're completely in the right on this. I'm sure you won't, but don't allow yourself to be bullied. You know, I'm not bullied at all. I'm fine with it. I've had worse than that. You know, I don't care. You know, anime fans, Lullaby and me.
There is a very good reason why Gab banned Lolly. Lolly is classed as simulated child porn, which is illegal in many, many countries. And right now, especially when everyone is...
But it's not illegal in America, which Torba lied about. He claimed that it was legal in America. It isn't. There was a bullshit trial there, but other than that, it's not illegal in America. So his whole reasons behind banning it on Gab was fostered on a lie, so he could justify his banning of it purely by his own tastes. I know that's bad phrasing, but whatever. Basically, TLDR, he banned it because he doesn't like it personally, not because it's illegal.
gunning for Gab. If Gab continues to host such content in such countries, Gab can then be banned from that country, and getting your website banned from an entire country is a massive loss in revenue.
It is, but again, that's not why Gab did it. That's not what Torba said. He didn't talk about the revenue aspect of it. He seemed to me to only discuss about it in America, not the rest of the world. He didn't seem to really talk about, it's banned here in Britain, which it is. I think I made a mistake in the video about that. And he didn't talk about where else it was banned. He purely talked about America. He says it's illegal here in many different states when federally it isn't. And I'm not sure in which states it is illegal. He never said. And in Louis' video, he categorically proved that that's not the case. So this isn't really an argument. And besides, you didn't really start off this whole debacle. He did. But, whatever.
So it's just better for them to play on the safe side and have Lolly banned for the time being.
That was not his thing. But again, I think I'm just repeating myself. Yeah, let's continue, guys.
So that their website doesn't get restricted. Most businesses make decisions based on business, not morals.
I don't know. Torba would disagree with that, and a lot of the left-wing outlets and businesses like Blizzard, they do actually base their decisions on morals. It's bad business practice, but this is becoming more of a thing now, which is apparently this: literal child porn is not free speech. God damn it, Dank, you've only gone and pulled a Lindsay Shepherd. Funnily enough, both times that's something vaguely pornographic. Ponder about that point for a moment. So Lolly is not a free speech issue. I hate seeing myself. Okay, that's a strange sentiment, because if you think about it, surely by that logic, portraying murder, portraying violence, portraying theft, portraying anything immoral or disgusting is not a free speech issue then, surely. Think about it. If I show somebody getting killed in an art piece, should that therefore be banned because it's disgusting and therefore it's not a free speech issue?
The amazing thing is, I retracted that statement.
You didn't. You didn't really.
In a later tweet. You even read out the retraction in this video.
You said, I'll meet you halfway or something, if I remember correctly. It was not a retraction. You did not say you were wrong. You said, okay, let's call it simulated child... Not simulated child porn, what was it? Simulated child sex or something? So, does that still not mean that you think it is child porn? I don't know. I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves, guys.
So you're arguing over a retracted statement? You made a video over a retracted statement, but everyone, shh, let's...
We didn't really, did he? Why am I feel like I'm repeating myself constantly, guys. He keeps going on and on and on about this retraction, and it's like, he didn't really. No, Lindsay Shepherd was talking about not banning, it was basically, there was something in Canada. I need to explain the Lindsay Shepherd point. Shit, I can't even remember what it was. It was basically, the Conservative Party in Canada basically had this meeting or some kind of public thing where they were talking about, it was like porn, and they said that we should limit it or regulate it even more. Oh god, it was so long ago. And I think a ban was mentioned, and she said, yeah, I'm down with this, or something. And then tried to say, oh no, I'm not for banning, when she literally just said that. But, I don't know. But hey, whatever. I mean, what's the difference between simulated child porn and child porn? Because surely it's child... I just don't know. What's the difference? It seems almost like there's not hardly any difference. Anyway, let's continue.
Let's just sit back and see if he notices, right? Let's just let him continue.
Well, I didn't read it as a retraction. You tried to meet us halfway, but it wasn't necessarily a retraction.
My reasoning behind it is simple. It's a point that a lot of people don't get or simply refuse to look at, but I really feel that it's not something that should be discounted. People keep saying to me, oh, saying lolly porn can encourage sexual acts is like saying violent video games can encourage violence. Sexual urges and violent urges are not even comparable.
Are they not? Really? They're not comparable?
Not even comparable in any way. They are nothing like each other.
Really?
So you can drop that shit just now. They are nothing fucking like each other.
So, you disagree with Jack Thompson, but then you kind of agree with Anita then?
each other. I can go a very, very long time without getting in a fight. And I'm Scottish, but I need to throw it in my missus at least
And I'm Mancunian.
once a day, right? We've all done very, very stupid stuff just because we were horny, right? We've all fucking done it. So don't sit there and try and act like sexual urges and violent urges are the same types of urges, right? They are very, very
They're not necessarily the same, but they're not. But that there's a similarity, and it's worth pointing out that if you're trying to say that lolly porn can like make people want to fuck kids, then surely, as Jack Thompson said, playing GTA 5, even just looking at violence, could make people want to be violent, right? That's the argument that you said, right? That's what we're talking about. Who cares about the urges? It's more to do with the fact that what you're saying is that this can influence people to be a certain way, when there is no evidence for that.
different. Sexual urges are much, much, much more fucking powerful than violent urges. Socrates himself even says that the male libido is like being chained to a madman.
Yeah, I know about Socrates.
And your libido can make you do fucking stupid things. There's obviously a lot more to this argument, but we can get into that later.
But anyway, it gets worse than that. He then goes on to say, before anyone goes, oh, but Loli isn't, I don't care. Loli isn't even totally banned in my Discord, despite the fact we post literal scat porn. I don't care if people call it art. It's kids being drawn suggestively. It can fuck off. Well then, I guess things like Can we just the skip book that me? Jermaine Gray
God.
published like nearly 20 years ago, with young boys being literally photographed suggestively, is literal porn, right? I mean, technically it could be considered that, but are you complaining? Do you even know about that? Just wondering.
Well, considering that you just yourself said that it's young boys being photographed suggestively, which suggests a sexual element, then yes. Even the author herself actually says that she knew she was going to get called a pedo by releasing the book. But the sexual element might not even be true. I've not actually read the book or even heard of the book, so I'm not going to comment any further on a book that I haven't even read or heard of. But apparently, me not hearing of a book, Charming Man thinks that's a win.
That's not the point I was making. Can I just I think I missed a part of what he said. Do you even know about that? Just wondering.
Well, considering that you just yourself said that it's young boys being photographed suggestively, which suggests a sexual element, then...
Oh, what did I say? Crap, I've completely lost my point of what I was going to say. Hang on. There we are. Totally banned in my Discord, despite the fact we post literal scat porn. I don't care if people call it art. It's kids being drawn suggestively. It can fuck off. Well then, I guess things like the book that Jermaine Gray published like nearly 20 years ago, with young boys being literally photographed suggestively, is literal porn, right? I mean, technically it could be considered that, but are you complaining? Do you even know about that? Just wondering.
Well, considering that you just yourself said that it's young boys being photographed suggestively, which suggests a sexual element, then yes. Even the author herself actually says that she knew she was going to get called a pedo by releasing the book. But the sexual element might not even be true. I've not actually read the book or even heard of the book, so I'm not going to comment any further on a book that I haven't even read or heard of.
The point is not commenting on the book itself. The point is, these kids were photographed suggestively or drawn suggestively. Is it porn? And therefore, by the argument that you put forward, should that be banned? Because it's art. She made an art book. The point is, these are real human beings being photographed suggestively for the purposes of art. Should that be allowed? That's the point I'm trying to make here.
But apparently, me not hearing of a book, Charming Man thinks that's a win.
No, that's not the point. It's not the point that you haven't heard about it. The point is, the way she made it. Should that be banned? It's not me being a galaxy brain or anything like that. It's the idea behind the book and how she made the book. That's the point. Nice misrepresenting here. When you're complaining about me misrepresenting you, you go and misrepresent me.
Or a gotcha or something for
It's not a gotcha. It's a point about principle.
some reason. All right then, man. I haven't heard of a book. I guess you win.
Well, you didn't really answer my point, other than, I guess, therefore it is porn because it's suggestive, but I don't even know if it really is. You didn't respond to my point properly, you just made fun of the fact that I mentioned a book. Interesting. It's banned on your Discord. Does this mean we found the weakness? Now, this is just a joke. Scat Boys, Loli is your kryptonite, and that the Scat Man should fear the Loli.
It's
such a bad meme.
You said yourself earlier that you don't like it, and then you tried to use me not liking it as a gotcha.
It's a joke, and it wasn't a gotcha.
Okay. But that's not the primary reason that it's banned in the Discord.
Yeah, I know why it's banned.
It's banned in the Discord because Discord's own community guidelines in terms
Yeah, I know.
of service say that Lolicon is
It was a joke.
completely banned. They even directly use the term Lolicon. Another
Shultercon, though. I bet you're disappointed about that.
reason that Lolicon is banned in the Discord is because Lolicon is illegal in the UK, charming
Yeah, it is. I now know that. Yeah, I do know.
man. You know that country that you live in? That country that you're from? As of the 2008 amendment to the 1978 Protection of Children Act, computer-generated images of children which are sexual can see you on the sex offenders register and can see you in prison. And considering the fact that I live in a country where the police are kind of gunning for me,
Yeah, I know.
You know, I'd rather not. You know, I'd
Yeah, I know. I understand that completely. But we're talking about the principles behind this, aren't we? That's what we're debating. And again, he responded seriously to a joke. That was a joke. That wasn't even a serious point. I don't know what's going on with this particular point, guys. Like, what exactly is he trying to say here? I'm not really contradicting myself. I'm making a joke. That was literally just something I put in there for a laugh.
I'd rather not get arrested for something like that. But hey, I guess that's just me being hypocritical.
No, what was hypocritical was saying that it was child porn and it probably should be banned. That's what you were saying. And that it's not a free speech issue. That's the hypocrisy there. That was nothing more than poking fun at your Discord. That wasn't a serious point. I don't like children being drawn in a sexual manner. Wow, you cook my fucking sides. So from here on out, Dankula basically is what I'm going to call doing the Mr. Metica defense, so essentially puts his fingers in his ears and is edgy and doesn't listen to anybody and just basically makes shit to try and get people's attention, try to wind them up, because he doesn't really have a point, because his point is hypocritical. He's not arguing on principle, and if he tries to argue on principle with this, he's just going to fail.
If you look at all the later replies, I actually had a good chat with some people and I even followed some back for further discussions. But the ones who acted like Spergs, I treated like Spergs.
Fair enough. And you know what? I didn't get a chance to see those. I didn't see them. I'll take that back a little bit, you know?
Now, given the fact that you've actually looked at my Twitter, it means that you've seen those tweets. You've seen the tweets of...
Well, no, I didn't see all of them, actually. I didn't see them. I only saw those other ones. I took the screenshots because I was trying to argue your points, really. That's what I was trying to do. And if I missed something out that may have added a bit more context to that, I apologise. You know, we're not all perfect. But I was trying to respond to your arguments, really. Not necessarily your responses to other people. I was trying to respond to you.
Of me talking to people, being open for further discussion. But obviously, those wouldn't have been very, very good for this video. So you just had to power up that cherry.
Fair enough, you had some good discussions with people. I take that back completely. But from my perspective, when I saw that, I assumed, oh, he's just doing this to deflect. That was my perspective. That wasn't me trying to misrepresent you. That was generally what I saw. So, I don't know.
Picker, didn't you, Mitch?
He hides behind Edge. And I'm sorry. And to be fair, you did hide behind a lot of Edge. Dank, but...
Not an argument.
Count Dankula acting edgy online. I want to issue a public apology for that. I realise that is the type of behaviour that none of you ever expect.
No, it's not what I expect. I mean, it is what I expect, but the point is it's not an argument. Because it isn't.
Of me. I'm really, really sorry that I've let you all down in acting in such a way on the internet of all places. I know it's not something that I'm known for or anything, and it's a drastic shift in my character. But personally, I blame drink, drugs, and alcohol, and I had a little bit of a mental breakdown. You know, I was taking Ambien. I was on Ambien, and I apologise most profusely for my actions, and I've now chosen to live the rest of my life as a gay man.
I'm not actually. The thing is, you can be edgy all you want, but being edgy is not an argument. That was the point. But whatever, you know, you do you. That's fine. You know, again, I can't really see this as a genuine response to what I'm actually trying to say. He's kind of deflecting and just roasting me. Again, the Medica defense. This isn't an argument. And then for some reason he responded to another point, which was a joke. Seriously? I'm confused by this video, man.
Me acting like that is something that you've actually cheered on in the past, Mitch.
Yeah, I know. But when we're talking about something like this, and you're using it to deflect from deflect, then, you know, it's a bit different, isn't it?
But it seems that when it comes to certain subjects or certain people, they seem to be exempt.
Well, no, they're not exempt. What are you talking about? That's not my point.
From me acting like that?
No, act edgy. All I'm saying is it's not an argument.
So it seems that, you know, I'm not allowed to do stuff like that.
No, you can do it. It's just not an argument. That's not what I said. I'm not saying you can't do that. Where did I say that he can't be edgy? All I'm saying is it's not an argument.
When it comes to things that you personally care about, as if, you know...
I don't really care about Lowly. It's more the free speech behind that. Like, I think if it's art and it should not be censored or banned. That's my take on it. I don't care for Lowly necessarily, more the thing behind it. Like, I don't care for alt-right opinions, but I will still defend those opinions. It's that kind of thing. That's not the point I'm trying to make. You know, again, he's not really... He doesn't seem like he's answering my point. It's weird.
Oh, you get a special pass.
And that's not what I said. Whatever, pedo. And also he likes to tarnish all the people who disagree with him, it seems. Although, remember, he's doing this with a veneer of humour as paedophiles. But hey, it's okay, because you just can't handle
that's
probably
Lowly,
shit. You know? That's probably a shit
fault you
point,
get triggered by it.
Who would have ever thought that saying, I don't like looking at simulated images of children having sex, would have been a controversial opinion, or even a...
It's not that point that was controversial. But whatever. Again, you know what? That was a shit point in my video, and if I was to make that again, I wouldn't have included that. That was stupid. And probably, yes, I should have done my due diligence and look into more of the conversations. But really, in my head, I was trying to look for the arguments themselves, like from yourself, not really with other people. I was wrong on that, and I wouldn't put that point in again. I've learnt. Point taken.
A gotcha for some...
But it's not really a gotcha. I'm not trying to gotcha you. I'm not a gotcha kind of guy. Again, you're just assuming, and that's, again, not an argument. You asserting what I'm thinking in my head and what I'm doing, my intentions, is not an argument.
Some fucking reason.
When people who whack off to drawings of kids act morally superior and question your principles. Well, I don't know. You like to literally call yourself a fighter for freedom of speech, a free speech warrior, and that you're all for unfettered free speech. Yeah, apparently Lowly is not part of that because you find it grossly offensive. So, sorry, but I think people have got you on this one. They really do.
That response you gave had pretty much nothing to do with the tweet that you just...
Oh yeah, it did. It did. Let's have a look again, guys. So he says that, question your principles. Like, yeah, they're not talking about the fact that, it's not even about the Lowly itself, it's whether you don't consider it a free speech issue. At least you claim to think that now. But, again, I did respond to it. Like, can anybody tell me how I did not respond to that point? So... No. Let's have a take a quick break and look at the chat. Yeah, so what if it's against the law? We're talking about the principle of free speech here, common sense guy. We enjoy liberty here in the US. Please don't come here once your Islamic UK government allows child marriage among Muslims. Oh wait, they already do. No, they don't. They don't. Not yet, anyway. But I don't know why that's a point. Is it child porn? No. Being a hypocrite is acceptable, is it? Really, Pona? Morally superior and question your principles. Well, I don't know. You like to literally call yourself a fighter for freedom of speech, a free speech warrior, and that you're all for unfettered free speech. Yeah, apparently Lowly is not part of that because you find it grossly offensive. So, sorry, but I think people have got you on this one. They really do.
That response you gave had pretty much nothing to do with the tweet that you just showed, so I'm really not sure what to do with this one.
Oh God, that's not a good sound. He does sound ill.
Why won't the devil just take me?
I know. When it comes to, I mean, I'm not saying that you should take him. I feel the same way. Not ill, but I feel the same way. Sometimes I completely get what he's saying, because I had like a niggling cough for a month last September. It didn't end till October. I know how he feels, man. Principle, you really don't have a leg to stand on, and you're making yourself out to not really be for freedom of speech. It is whatever you like that should be defended.
Ooh, and there it is. And there it is. When did I ever say that it should be illegal?
Because you're saying it's child porn, or simulated child porn, as you have now decided to say. So, and child porn is illegal. Therefore, it should be illegal then. If you think it's child porn or simulated child porn, whatever that means, then yeah, it should be illegal then, right? Well, what do you think it should be then? Because that's what you're inferring. It's child porn, therefore it should be illegal. So, again, so should it be illegal? Should it not be illegal? Like, when we read it's not a free speech issue, it's child porn, we're going to assume that you don't want it to be legal. That we should not be allowed to draw it, we should not be allowed to consume it. That's basically what you were saying. Like, oh, sorry, FF. My apologies. Oh, God, Sweden does? Oh, ugh. But anyway, let's continue. Let's see what else he has to say. I've probably already answered the point.
See, no one's ever been able to fucking give me any evidence of when I said it should be illegal.
It was before in the video when you said it's not a free speech issue and then it's child porn. So therefore, you think it should be illegal. It's child porn. It's not a free speech issue. Right?
They've given me tweets where they made some great big fucking inference about it after, 6 steps of inference. That was the best that they could do, but no one's ever been able to actually source me where I said it should be illegal.
Well, then that probably says more about you than it does about us. That you didn't word your tweet well enough, or tweets. So, again, I posed the question to you, should it be illegal or not? If you think it's child porn, or simulated child porn.
Like everyone fucking said over and over and over. Because here's the funny thing is, I never said that. And everyone keeps arguing over a point that I never fucking said.
You actually did though. And again, it's not our fault that you worded your tweet crappily. Like, that's not our fault. That's your fault.
As for lolly being legal or illegal, I never made any comment on that at all.
Well, you again inferred.
But we can get into that later.
And come under the umbrella of... And also, didn't he actually kind of talk about that in the stream with Amos Yee? Didn't he? Because Louis Levine used that in a stream or a video. And he basically was like, I don't like it, but I'm for free speech. It probably should be banned, but I don't want to ban it because of this. It was like a bit of a cognitive dissonance thing going on. And it's like, yeah, we'll get to that, won't we? So you've said things like that. Come on, Dank. Freedom of speech, rather than things like lolly, which by the way is fictional, and as far as I'm aware anyway, especially in Japan, it does not have actual kids be used as models to make the actual art itself. It's drawn, it's cartoons, it's not real.
Yeah, I know. I had people for some reason making this argument to me online, and I find it bewildering that I need to clarify this point.
Here we go, guys.
I don't think cartoons are real people.
Then how can we keep talking about children as opposed to cartoon children? That was what your rhetoric was saying. You didn't say cartoon kids. You didn't say lowly. You didn't necessarily say lolicons. You said children. Pictures of children. That's the same thing as saying Aeneas Sarkeesian saying that these pixels on a screen are women. And they're being oppressed by the gamer or by the game developers. Like Lara Croft being, created to have big tits or something, or a violent act is performed in a game. Like, that's what you were saying. So, yeah, you literally said that, and that made us think, is he seriously trying to make that Aeneas Sarkeesian point? Like, again, whether or not you meant, it's clear that you're trying to say to me that you didn't mean it in that way, yet you talked about children, not cartoon children. So from where we were standing, you were treating it as if it was something that had real life consequences and that we were dealing with actual children, which is something that Anita Sarkeesian did all the time, what Jack Thompson did with violence. Like, he said that, didn't he? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, you know. It said it in his tweets. I read those tweets.
I'm not Chris Chan.
I never said you were Chris Chan. But the thing is, your rhetoric made it out that you did. Because you said children, which implies actual people. Or at least you were treating them as if they were real. They were real. And that, like, you know, it was so long ago, I've not even read the tweets until in this video. And even then I'm struggling to remember exactly everything. So again, I reiterate, how is that dangerous? How is that something that's not protected under free speech? Because it's nothing more than just a representation of what could be.
It's because, like I said earlier, sexual urges are a very different type of beast to the other ones.
But the thing is, if it's making these people feel horny, which it will do, if it's a sexual thing, wouldn't it be beating off to the porn itself rather than go out there and do things? Like, you're saying that sexual urges make people act weird, and they do, but isn't this just like, well, violent video games have been shown to make people aggressive. Aggression also makes people act in a way that they don't usually act. By your logic, if I get aggressive playing GTA 5 or some kind of video game, there's nothing stopping me from going into the street and punching a random person then, right? It's a stupid argument that doesn't make sense.
But we're building up to what I actually think, so we can get into that later.
Here we go, what you actually think.
Don't worry, it's coming.
And also, some lolis aren't actually kids. They're teenagers or adults drawn as children, but still with adult figures. I know, it's weird, but that's loli.
Well, then it's not a child.
No, those ones are not children, but the other ones are. But they're drawn like children, but with weird features. Like Shadman, he draws his loli like adults, but they look like kids. But then the other artists who don't draw it like that.
So what if it's an adult with like a small frame? Like, you get adults like that.
Yeah, but you were making it out like it's children in your rhetoric. That's what I'm responding to. You're saying this now with the benefit of hindsight with your so-called retraction. Again, guys, where am I going wrong?
I dated a girl like that. If the person
Yeah, so have I. Like, what's your point?
is above the age of 18, or 16 if you're in the UK, then that person is an adult, which means it is an adult being shown and not a child, which means that it's not child porn because there is no child being shown. I am
But it's considered lolicon, so it is, right? By your logic.
absolutely fine with that type of porn
But it's lowly. They're still kids.
because it's adults being shown. This was a very, very strange point to make, Mick.
Again, I'm not an expert on lowly, so I could have got something wrong there, to be fair. But again, the chat can tell me exactly how it works. But I've seen Shadman's content, and, you know, I don't know.
It's when the person being depicted is underage and it specifically states this person is in fact underage, then I have a problem, because that age part adds an entirely different element to the content. And people probably didn't know that that's how I actually felt about it, because you were all too busy spurging out to fucking ask me.
Well, we did. And you claim to have had those discussions. It comes under a different kind of spectrum, I guess you could say. The best arguments so far. Oh, so you think drawn characters are real people? Just because it's drawing pictures of children doing pornographic things, that doesn't make it child pornography. Woo! Well, it's not literally child porn, is it? Because child porn, at least in my opinion, and at least in a lot of legal definitions, is using actual real children being abused and basically tortured for the pleasure of sick paedophiles. It's a literal slave trade in many ways. Lowly is nothing more than cartoons.
Later that same day, I retracted that statement and changed it to simulated child porn. The only way for you to get the tweet that you're reading right now would be for you to actually scroll past the retraction, right? You've seen the tweet, charming man. In fact...
Yeah, I've seen it, and I discussed it, didn't I? But again, I still make sure that you're not taken out of context as best as I can. I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves here as well in many cases. But like, again, like I'm trying to make a point here that it's not the same. And in fact, in those Wikipedia articles he quoted, let's see if I can find this. Hang on, because there was a court case about Lowly in the UK. Hang on, Lolicon UK law. Hang on. Status are drawn. Here it is. Hang on. In 2014, Robel Hulk, have you pronounced his name, was convicted of possessing up to 400 explicit manga images of Lowly. That's assume what they're talking about. Could have been Shotokan. Who knows? He received a 9 months suspended sentence. He was also warned in court that had he been in possession of actual child pornography, he would have been sentenced to jail for a longer term in years. So, like, the law knows that it's not real, but it's still illegal. So, really, this law is a moral law, isn't it? It's got nothing to do with protecting actual children. It seems to me to be a moral thing, an obscenity law. That's what it is. So, again, UK law knows it's not real, but they still prosecute people for that. So, again, yeah, and simulated, Ryan, you're right, implies it's not real. When beforehand you were going on that it was that it was akin to real child pornography, and using words like children as opposed to not real children or cartoon children, like, or artistic representations. But, like, why does he still think it's not a free speech issue? Because he didn't retract that, though, did he?
You're about to read it out in a little minute.
Here we go, get ready.
You're literally arguing against a retracted
Well, I'm not. Well, let's see what you actually retracted.
statement.
And if you think about it, it could be used to deter paedophiles from going out and seeking actual child porn, thus endangering more children's lives and enriching the sick cunts that actually make that crap.
Do you know that for a fact?
I said possibly, so I don't know that for a fact. Interesting how you ignore that.
Does Lolly really prevent that, Mick?
We'll find out, won't we? But I wasn't the one who made the positive claim first that it actually makes people do worse things. But hey, whatever, you know. It actually makes people paedophiles or do paedophilic shit.
What research have you done that actually...
Well, what have you done to make the positive claim that it does cause harmful effects?
proves that? But we're going to get into that later.
We're going to get into that later, guys.
I'm going to blue ball you again
We're going to get blue ball.
and keep it all till the fucking end.
I'm not saying that Lowly is great all of a sudden. I'm just saying that's what it can be used for. Give the nonsense an outlet that's actually safe, as opposed to something that will endanger more lives. And then he responds from... Here we go, right, let's read this out. Is this a retraction? Tell you what, I'll meet you in the middle. Because remember, he said more things than just this. Lowly is not child porn, it's simulated child porn. Will that do? Probably not, because the truth hurts, doesn't it? But Mafutabu, but Maniko. Yeah, I use that shit as the butt of jokes. I don't whack off to it. This really triggers you lot, didn't it? That doesn't sound like a retraction, in my opinion. Like, that to me sounds like he's only trying to meet us halfway on something. It's more of a... Not even a concession. It's hard to... I can't think of the word for it. But again, he completely ignored what we're actually trying to talk to him about, which is the principle that it's a free speech issue. He completely ignored that and homed in on the whole, is it child porn, is it not aspect of it. That's what he's retracting there, but he's not retracting the statement of, is it a free speech issue or is it not? When he said that it's not a free speech issue. He didn't retract that. So it wasn't even really a full retraction of what he actually said. It's like a half retraction, a quarter retraction. Like, it is almost as if he's saying it's just to shut us up. Like, how do I know he actually does think this? I don't know that. But again, I'm not trying to assert. I shouldn't really assert things like that. But I don't know. Again, we don't know if it's going to prevent child abuse, but considering that Japan has like the least amount of paedophilic crime, and it's legal there. I know correlation does not equal causation, but like, you know, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? There should be something, like, there should be some actual research into this. But again, I'm not the one who made the claim first that it is harmful, because I'm pretty sure he said that first. But I don't know. Let's continue. Another person saying to him, so you can run around screaming how drawings equal literal child porn. This really triggered you lot, didn't it? I don't know. I don't think anybody's really triggered.
Well, you should have seen my fucking mentions.
So on the one hand, but it depends what they were triggered on, to be fair. Could be joking and saying, I don't actually think it's child porn. But on the other hand, you're just mocking him and saying that he's the one who's triggered. Yet you're the one that's saying it's literal child porn, and you don't like it, you're offended, and you've banned it in your Discord. So I am actually acknowledging that it is some kind of retraction. So he's actually wrong. I knew full well that he was saying this as damage control. I don't think it was a retraction. I read it as something that, and like I said just now, a half retraction, something to shut us up. Like, maybe he was trolling us, I don't know. But when I see what he said in the Amos Yee thing, I have to wonder. Like, it's a victimless crime, Emu. That's the thing. And like, if a crime has no victims, why is it a crime? You know? That's the thing. I mean, you know, unless they use actual kids, then that's crossing the line. But I've got like a book that teaches you how to draw anime. You don't need a model to draw anime. You don't. If you know how to draw like figures of like a body, which is basic art, you don't need a model. You know, I mean, I guess it would help, but it's not needed. Exactly, Shane. You know, as long as they don't draw from actual people, you know. Keep the freaks in the cages. To some extent, I guess, you know. Except for scat porn, which nearly got you banned.
Again, I retracted
That was a joke.
the literal child porn statement in a tweet that you have in fact
But you didn't retract that it's not a free speech issue statement, did you?
seen, so you're arguing against a retracted statement.
But I'm not really, am I? Because it doesn't read like a retraction. It doesn't. It just doesn't read that way. In my opinion.
It's banned in the Discord because it's against Discord's TOS.
Yeah, we know that. It was a joke.
And it's illegal in the UK. And
Yes, we know.
the Dank Brigade was actually originally deleted over
I know this.
gore posts, not the scat porn.
Okay, I was wrong about that. It was the gore posts, right? But it was weird that still they talk about the scat, didn't they, as well? I was wrong about that. I apologise.
Funnily enough, you give out an awful lot of misinformation, don't you?
Is it misinformation or just being wrong? Dankula. Can I just be wrong as opposed to being somebody who's misinforming? Like, thing is, people in my comment section, you guys regularly correct me on things. Like, if I say something wrong, I'm not expecting somebody to believe me. I'm expecting, if I'm wrong, to be corrected, as I have been just now. Or something else, like, I'm not somebody who would willingly misinform somebody or misrepresent somebody. Like, he kind of like implies I'm doing this to make him look bad when I wasn't. I was just trying to tell the story of what happened as if from what I thought was true when it wasn't. So again, he's now again asserting my reasonings behind that.
Mitch.
Tell you what, I'll meet you in the middle. Loli's massive. To it.
Oh, so now you read the...
CP. Will that do? Probably not, because the truth hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, but Futabu, but Maniko, yeah, I use that shit as the butt of jokes. I don't whack off to it.
Oh, so now
Well, I was getting there.
now you read the retraction out loud. The retraction
But it's not a
of
retraction.
the statement.
It's not a retraction, is it? And you still say it's simulated child porn. I'll call you out, my dude. Thank you, Emu.
You've based this entire video on...
Well, no, what?
You made a video on a...
Well, no, the point was not about that. The point was the principle, Dankula. You're misrepresenting me now. My whole point was not about is lowly necessarily child porn, but the free speech angle of it, really. Maybe I should have ignored you talking things about that and just talk purely about the principle. Like, that's the whole point of my video. So you are misrepresenting me. This is why I should probably change the way I respond to things. And like, if I see somebody who's trying to deflect, I should just ignore the deflection and stick to the actual topic. Because my real issue is not whether or not you think it's child porn or not. I mean, that is like one thing, but the real thing is you said it wasn't a free speech issue, and then we have to debate about whether or not it is or if it isn't. And you didn't retract whether or not you think it's a free speech issue or not. So it wasn't much of a retraction. Like, come on.
A retracted statement, Mitch. You now read out the retraction and then just move on as if nothing fucking happened.
I'm pretty sure I did respond to that statement. I don't remember. I'm positive I did. I don't know. It's been a long time since I made that video. It feels a long time. I'm sure I responded to that. I wouldn't just not respond to something.
You had the retraction in front of you.
But again, he's intentionally ignoring the free speech aspect of this whole debacle. He's making it out as if this is purely about whether or not it is or is not child porn. That's what I'm getting from this. I could be totally wrong. So, but he knows he has. But the thing is, it's a tactic that he's employing here. He has to make it out like it's all about that that's what my argument was actually about. So that makes me look bad. And yet I'm the one who's misinforming people. I'm the one who's misrepresenting his argument. So really, it isn't. Dankula, you didn't make a full retraction. What you retracted was over the semantics of whether or not it is or is not child porn, if that's the right word to talk about it. But you didn't retract, it is not a free speech issue, which was what people originally got worked up about. And then it ended up going into the whole, is it child porn, is it not? Like, come on. You're the one being disingenuous here, not me. I just made mistakes, which can be rectified.
You even sourced the retraction.
And you know what? It's my fault for not brushing up on the history of that stuff that I was talking about as well. That's on me as well. I'm not saying that my fans should be, telling me these things. It's more like when I get wrong, call me out, That's what I'm trying to say. Just to clarify.
For this video, you then argue over a retracted statement.
But I'm not actually arguing over a retracted statement. In fact, it's my own fault for not reading it clearly. I should have noticed it as the deflection that it was. So really, you've done me a service here.
You then read out the retraction, and then just what are you doing?
And let me get my video up. Did I actually just ignore it? I don't remember that. Unless it was a thing that I cut from it. Because there was one thing I cut from the video because I didn't think it was a good point. You know what? How long have I been streaming? Do I have the time? I don't know if I have the time for this, guys. No, I don't have the time for this. I don't have the time. But I'm pretty sure I did respond to that point. Or I did it beforehand and I've misedited it, but I'm pretty sure I responded to it. And we're still only 12 minutes to go. Jesus, this is a long-ass video.
What the fuck are you doing, bitch?
Then what the fuck are you doing? Deflecting? So what is he responding to in this? What is Futabu Butma Nico? So at the end of his last video, so I'm actually responding to the statement here now. What about Mad Lads? I should have actually done this a bit better. I should have been a bit more tactful. He put some Nakumara, whatever it's called, at the end of his video.
So I'm going to hop back into the mystery machine and shoot off. I think
I think everybody's seen this, haven't they?
Quite enough of cat people.
Bear in mind, I like this joke, just so you know. Alright? I enjoyed his video. And the thing is, he's entertaining me with this video as well. Even though I think he's misrepresenting me, personally, I'm still entertained. I don't think he's roasted me nearly as much as people said he did. Like, I was expecting, some big things, but when he's just using, tired memes like Galaxy Brain, when I'm obviously not trying to come across like that. I don't think the roasts are that good. I'm disappointed, Dankula. Or maybe they come out at the end. I don't know.
Okay, maybe not all cat.
Exactly, not all cat girls. And guess what? Those anime characters, some of them, are 9 months old. Now I know you may be saying, but Mitch, that's a cat year thing, surely. But these are cat girls. They're basically human cat hybrids. That girl is 9 months old. Cross-dressing. That's not even a lowly. That's something worse. Whoa. But it's okay. It's a joke, this, really, anyway, this bit. I mean, it doesn't look good for him, anyway. But it's a joke. I'm mostly joking here, from what I can gather. It's just a prank, bro, according to Dankula.
Someone actually gifted me the game on Steam and I had to stream the entire thing.
Oof.
Sex scenes removed, of course. Because people found it very funny, you know, how uncomfortable it made me, and obviously because I was just...
Fair enough, Dank, fair enough.
Making fun of and laughing at the thing all the way through. And people found that quite entertaining. So things like Nekopara and Futaboo became long-running jokes between me and my subscribers and on the Dank Brigade, just...
But... they're still technically lowlies.
For absolute memes and bants, but apparently it's jokes that I'm not allowed to make anymore.
I didn't say you can't make them. Stop lying, okay? That's a lie. I never said you can't make it. I was just pointing out it's not good optics. I never said that. Why does he keep making that point? Like, that's not the point I made. I'm not saying he can't do that. I never said that. Why is he putting words in my mouth?
More because just because I find these things funny,
they are funny. I laughed at that, but it's bad optics. That's the point.
But also don't actually like the content.
Yeah, but it's bad optics, and you're claiming not to like it, but you like Shotokan, right? I heard, or maybe you don't. But Shota is young boys as traps, so that's not good. That's not good optics either.
Apparently, it means that
if that's true, I don't know if that's true. I think I cut that bit out of the video because I'm not sure about this. There were some things that I did cut out that I knew I wasn't sure about, so... You know, I'm not deliberately misinforming people, Dankula, like you have here. Misinforming my argument.
That I'm not allowed to joke about them anymore, so... I'm very, very sorry, guys. I know all of you probably really enjoyed those jokes. You enjoyed the memes and bants that came out of those, but... According to the Lolly Brigade, because I am not woke enough on the lolly question, I'm not allowed to make such jokes anymore. So
no, you can make those jokes. Just be aware it makes you look hypocritical. That's all. Nobody said you can't make those. I never said that you can't make those jokes. I'm not even part of the Lolly Brigade. I'm on the side of free speech. That's what I consider myself. But hey, if I'm a lowly brigader, I'm a lowly brigader then. I should have a debate with Count. It would be good. Yeah, it would be good. I just got to find the time. And I don't know how it's going to be structured. Like, is it going to be me versus him? Was it me and Louis versus him and somebody else? Because if he wants to debate me and Louis at the same time, it has to be 2-on-2, because I think that's unfair. Maybe that's honourable of me, but, you know. But, like, I'm not saying he can't make those jokes. I'm trying to say that it's bad optics. And it makes him look like a hypocrite. Say all the things you want, just be aware of... that it's not going to be a good look when you say it's not a free speech issue and you use things that are essentially lowlies, you know?
So, I'm sorry, I know you guys probably really, really enjoyed it, but the joke
Who's police you guys? I'm not part of the joke police. I wouldn't be on your side if I was part of the joke police. I'm not policing you. I'm not saying what you can and cannot say. You're the one who's actually on the side of the police when you say that it's not a free speech issue. So I don't know why you're trying to flip it on me, because I've said nothing of the sort. And the thing is, a lot of his fanboys will just eat this up and think that's what I actually said, when I didn't. Louis Farrell-Lollican. Louis Farrell-Lollican. Oh, that's great. That's great. Exactly. I'm just trying to help him in many ways with his cognitive dissonance. Maybe that's too... galaxy brained of me, but,
come knocking again. I also love how, despite me treating the whole thing as a joke, saying it was a joke, and clearly doing it for jokes,
I don't know. The whole "it's not a free speech issue" thing, was that a joke? Again, whatever,
is deliberately ignoring the fucking context just
I'm not. I'm not ignoring the context. You're ignoring my context, it seems.
so that he can make a weak point.
Oh, really? You've made nothing but weak points, other than, correcting me on my misinformation and some of the points I made that weren't particularly good. What you've done is present my argument as basically this: that I think that the whole point of the thing is lowly child porn or not. That I think that you think it's child porn, and then and that's apparently it. We'll talk about the semantics of that, when that was not originally the point of my video. The original point of the video was about the principle of, is it free speech or not? Should it be censored? That's the point. Now, I probably made a mistake in the video and fell for your deflections. But the original point of the video was not necessarily about what lowly is, even though we kind of had to discuss that as well. And I should have just made that a little bit of the video. But again, that was not the point of the video. So really, I'm not the one misrepresenting you and ignoring the context. You're the one doing that to me.
You could probably get a job as a prosecutor, Mitch, I guess.
So now I'm the one who's against free speech now, is it? Really? Fucking projection. Wow, this is really bad. This is a terrible video. He's basically projecting the things that he said himself onto me. What he thinks. Because he's the one who thinks people should be prosecuted for having lowly. Not me. But then again, that's only an assertion of mine based on the inference that he says isn't an inference. So I can't say that. To be fair, I can't say that at all. But he inferred that that's what he thinks. So again, what am I led to believe? It's not a free speech issue. It's child porn, but then it's simulated child porn. So should simulated child porn still be legal or illegal? Well, it's not a free speech issue. It's simulated child porn. And child porn is illegal, and it's illegal in the UK. So, from what I can gather, he thinks the law shouldn't change on lowly then. But then again, I don't know. If we ever do get a debate, if we do, which by the way, he hasn't followed me on Twitter to discuss it with me yet. Because, whatever, it might happen, but I don't know yet. But we've still got 10 minutes. 10 minutes, man. Considering he's repeated himself a lot. Maybe I repeated myself a lot as well. But I'm only responding to his stuff. But
I guess context doesn't matter with you either all of a sudden.
I'm not a prosecutor. Context doesn't matter. As far as I was concerned, that was in context. Turns out there was more things, like you said, that I didn't put in because of my, I guess you could argue, narrow-minded neglectfulness. I just didn't check for things. I'll grant you that. But as far as I was aware when I was making this video, this was as in context as I could possibly make it. But you, on the other hand, you're just accused. You're doing the same thing, surely. But then it gets even more interesting. He follows Shadman. Shadman. Now, who is Shadman? Well, Shadman is a notorious artist who draws lowlies. Now, of course, people are right. It's not the only thing he draws, but it is the thing that he's most famous for, and that he draws a hell of a lot of, and what has got him into a lot of shit and a lot of fame. And Count Dankula follows him. Now, why is Dankula following him? Who knows? It could be that they're just two fellow creators who have been attacked by people and the media for the things that they create or the things that they've done, and they probably have some kind of, I don't know, I guess you could say they have some kind of joint fight in this. Although, maybe Dankula likes his artwork. Wink wink, nudge nudge.
The follows equal.
That was a joke as well. And again, I never claimed to know exactly why they follow each other. It was a perhaps, a maybe. Let's have a look at the chat. I need a break from this. The rise of the lolliberalists. It's a bloody drawing. Here in Germany, it's listed as fictional child porn, but it's not criminal offence. Bloody drawings aren't far from being criminal here. Fellas, how are we? We'd recover if Come Sail Away. Hive of scum and lowlies. I don't... Again, guys, your take on my argument. Was I trying to actually... was I trying to purposely take him out of context? Because I don't think I was. I may have not been aware of things that he'd said outside of that, but I wanted to argue his points. That was my intention, but he's just making it out that I'm some kind of dishonest actor here when I'm not. Like, that's a thing. That's just not true. Yet he misrepresents me, but it's okay when he does it, it seems. And nobody here seems to have... Nobody who's talked to me seems to have, like, noticed this. Like, come on.
Full endorsements argument. Well, that's fine then, Mitch. You follow JF and Richard Spencer, which means that you are alt-right. You also follow...
That's not what I said, though. It was bad optics. The point was it's bad optics.
Onision,
and I do follow them, yeah.
Someone who hasn't drawn underage girls, but has had some real world, fiascos involving underage girls. I wonder, why could you be following him, Mitch? Eh? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you fucking sperg. Oh.
I am an actual sperg. I mean, to be fair, he's got a point there. But it's like, he's so vehemently against Lowly, why would he follow somebody who, I guess, who draws Lowly, if he hates it so much? Like, I follow JF and Onision and shit to see what they're up to so I can respond to them and criticise them. But I guess that's me being a hypocrite, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. That was some oversight. But again, like, the point is, if he so vehemently hates it, why is he following Shadman? Like, I follow these alt-right people because I have to. I have to follow these social justice warriors like Onision was or still is, because it's my job on YouTube to follow these people, to see what they're saying and debate them occasionally and respond to what they're saying publicly and etc. That's why I do it. A Spurg, yeah, you're saying Spurg. He called me a Spurg because he thinks I'm stupid. That's why NPC. But like, I was joking with that wink wink nudge nudge thing, I even claimed not to know the real reason why he follows him. I just, made a hypothetical thing, like... I recommend cutting out dead air and redundancies, makes it hard to subvert the actual topic. Possibly, yeah. But then it would make a lot of a lot of jump cuts. I'll end up being like, what's his name? Fucking Philly D. Fucking Keltoids, man. They can't handle the Anglos.
Also, the entire Lolly fiasco is something that I was not well versed on. If you actually watch my old debates with Amos Yee, he actually...
So it makes me wonder why you chose to make those tweets when you're not well versed in it. Is it the Dunning-Kruger effect where... I can't remember what the term is, but when you basically talk about something that you're not actually well versed in, but you talk about it as if you know what you're on about. So it makes me wonder why he made those tweets in the first place.
Actually asks me that question, and I didn't have an answer because I didn't know. So who better to actually learn from than the person who is well known for creating that kind of art? But I mainly follow him because he draws traps.
Shotacon traps, guys. But it's okay. It's okay when it's little boys. It's not when it seems to be little girls, as Lowly tends to be. Even though a Lowly itself is not necessarily has to be a girl. I'm trying to get free Shadman art. I don't want Shadman's art, On the Gab topic, it's highly unlikely that someone's going to be going against the platform because cartoon showed. I know, it's on Twitter. And it's on Facebook, I think. No, it's on Tumblr even. Most people listen rather than watch, and if you cut it right, it'll barely be noticeable. Yeah, you're right. But I remember people do watch it, though. People do watch it and do complain. So I'm kind of caught in the rock and a hard place. It's why I've been moving towards just audio, so I don't have to use jump cuts. I mean, I guess you can hear the audio cuts, but no. Shota is halal, I know. But again, I don't know if he actually likes it, but I don't know. I shouldn't really say that. I'm playing with fire. But I've heard people say he does. But it's just not confirmed. If someone can confirm to me he does actually like it, then that raises some interesting points, But it's just weird how he goes all out and doubles down, uses the Metka defense to attack Loli while he's doing all this shit.
Doubling down.
I mean, to me, that's how it read. To me, it didn't look like a retraction, and you did double down, in my opinion. Thing is, Sargon was at least honest, right? You know, I didn't like what he said, but I can appreciate the honesty behind what he said, because he quite rightly said there is a free speech issue, but he says due to the pragmatism of the fighting the culture war, he personally cannot, you know, fight for it for that issue, which, you know, I disagree with. I don't think we should concede on free speech. You know, I think, you know, outside of the things society has generally agreed is harmful, like child pornography, things like that, right? Or even slander and libel. We agree these things, or revenge porn, these things are not free speech issues, right? Because they actually have confirmed real life harm. I mean, lies can harm people, you know? That's why we have these laws. And it's like, what was I going to say? So I can see why Sargon says that, even though I disagree, because this is art. It's completely different, you know? But it's like, I don't understand how that makes me against free speech. Never mind, let's continue. I'm forgetting what I was going to say anyway.
By retracting my statement and saying I want to...
But you barely... It's barely a retraction. Is it even a retraction? It doesn't sound like one. It doesn't read like one. And again, you didn't retract the statement that you made about it not being a free speech issue. You retracted the semantic argument, I guess. I'll grant you that, just for this video. Even though I personally have doubts that you really, really did. I don't know. You've just not been an honest actor in this entire video, yet you're saying that I'm the dishonest one.
To do more research. That's doubling down, apparently.
But you know what? He has a great excuse for this. I also follow Nicola Sturgeon and Jeremy Corbyn. Follows equals endorsement. Surely you can do better. Oh no, we didn't say that you endorsed him. We just found it very...
You literally, just a few moments ago, tried to suggest that follows equal endorsements.
I didn't actually. I didn't at all. I actually didn't in that video clip. I didn't. I didn't say it at all. That's a lie. It's just really convenient that you lash out against people who like Loli and want to defend Loli as an art form and think it does fall under free speech, while you put Loli in your videos just for a prank, bro, obviously, and also because you follow Shadman. It's just really interesting, Dank. I'm just saying, Marcus.
So earlier on, you tried to make fun of Metacar for the way he conducts...
Well, no, I was making fun of you, not Metacar. I was making fun of you, not Metacar. In fact, it wasn't actually making fun of you. I was saying that this is what Metacar does. This is the tactic that he uses to deflect arguments. I wasn't making fun of Metacar.
Himself, but right now you're using his famous activates
I'm
my
not
app.
actually. I'm not. I'm not doing the same thing at all. I'm just pointing out it doesn't look right through the use of humour. I'm actually making a point. I'm not just saying lol this and then that's it. I'm actually making a point with the joke. The whole point of the Metacar defense is you don't make a point, you just throw this joke out there to deflect. I'm not deflecting. I'm actually answering your point.
Almonds. You contradict yourself an
I did not contradict myself.
awful lot.
You contradict yourself. I don't claim that it's actual real people. Wait, well, that's the wrong thing. I don't claim to have got confused between actual children and cartoons, yet you use the rhetoric of children as opposed to cartoon children. And then you say it's not a free speech issue. You don't even retract that statement, yet you claim that you don't think it should be illegal, that it should be banned. But then you don't think it's child porn either. But then you said that, and now it's a retraction. I don't know. I think somebody here is being contradictory, but it ain't me. Me using a joke to make an actual point is not the Metacar defense. That's not what I said the Metacar defense was. I clearly said that you used a joke to deflect, not to make a point.
Don't you, Mitch?
So you're actually lying there. You're misrepresenting what I said. And you know what? I finally discovered your weakness. I finally found... Now, this is a joke, guys, okay? I hope he realises this is a joke. I do not want anybody to raid his Discord at all. This is purely a joke, okay? I said as much, and if he cuts it out and makes it out like I want him to be raided, then that is honestly the most dishonest thing you could ever do. Hopefully he doesn't do that. I'm hoping that he doesn't do that. He realises it's an edgy joke that I put at the end of the video, which isn't even a point. I wasn't making a point. I wasn't deflecting anything. It was just a joke. The thing that will really rile up you and your boys. It would be a real shame if somebody were to... in my head, I'm thinking, this is like an Italian mobster. You know, like, it'd be a real shame, you know. This is the joke I'm trying to make. He's not the best joke. I probably should have cut it out. It's a terrible joke. But visit the old Discord. Okay, we've all seen this. Man-boy love, you know what I mean? Nah, that's just all for jokes, guys.
Well, remember, Mitch, we live in a country where context doesn't matter.
That's a joke. Why are you responding to that? That's just a joke. It's not even a point I was making or responding to any particular point.
It'd be a real shame if the police ignored the context of what you just said and took that as you encouraging...
Well, that's what you do.
...people to post child porn, and then you're little cute...
And what's funny enough, one of your fans did take that as a legit threat. So you've...
effeminate self ended up in prison. With me. Don't worry, son. It's just jokes.
I know it's a joke. I don't literally want you to be raided. I don't think he... Does he think I'm not joking? Does he think I'm not joking? Because then I did get like an actual comment from someone thinking I legit wanted him to be raided when it was a joke on the fact that he indulges in raiding, which I have no problem. Instructions unclear, begin raid. I don't know, like... That seemed to think... I think he thought I was being... I actually was being serious. You know? I hope he doesn't think that. Thing is, that was a good joke, you know? But thing is, I don't think I look particularly effeminate, you know? That's like... I don't know. Maybe it's my voice, but I don't think I myself... physically look particularly effeminate. I'm just skinny, you know. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I personally don't think that this art form is really literal child porn. Literal child porn is, well, literal child porn with actual human beings being abused in it.
I acknowledge that, Mitch.
Well, do you? Well, maybe you do.
And a tweet that you read...
But again, it didn't read like an actual retraction. Yeah, I know, Agent of Apathy. I hope so, you know. Yeah, he is. But like, but that wasn't my point, you know? I never made, in any of my arguments, that context doesn't matter, you know? I never tried to take him out of context. I'm not trying to be like the fucking Scottish police, you know? That wasn't my intention. He's trying to make out that I am like that. Like, I get that point, but that's not what I in any way attempted to do in this video.
In this fucking video.
And I think that Lowly does come under freedom of speech, and I think that people should be able to draw... Here we go. Does he think it's under free speech? Because he didn't retract that statement. Does he retract this statement? And publish it and make money off of it, because it doesn't actually harm anybody. It's a victimless crime. You'd basically be punishing people for, like, smoking weed. That's essentially how we would be punishing people who own and draw Lowly. Literally, a victimless crime doesn't harm anybody. Do you see how completely nonsensical this is? And how hypocritical and how just idiotic you look when you say these things and you try to... should have been a bit more tactful with that and not say that, I think. There's some things that I should not have said. Yeah, he did. Yeah. But we've not got to his point yet. But I am noticing a lot of flaws in my video. He's actually making me want to avoid some of these things in the future. So, like, you know what? Good on him. He's actually done something good in this video, apart from misrepresent me, but I'm seeing the flaws in some of the things that I said. So, you know. But again, I'm trying to be honest here. I'm not trying to gotcha anybody. I have conceded some things. Like Louis Levi said to me on Twitter, it wasn't foolproof. This video is clearly not foolproof. But like, I don't know why I quoted it either. To be fair, I think it's more to do with the fact that it's a weird like concept. You know, the idea of a victimless crime. It's just a weird concept. You know, I think that was the point. I don't know. I hope that's the point. Again, I made this like weeks ago now. Who knows what was going on through my head at the time? Pulled the Medica defense. It just doesn't work down. You know what? Let's agree to disagree. I'll end the video here. See you later, guys.
It took a while, but right here is where we get to the meat. The real meat of this argument.
So he's been deflecting all this time. Why didn't he just make a video on this 6 minutes? Like, why does he have to go through the whole, like, some things and then misrepresent me on certain points? Yeah, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, Daniel. I think it's pretty clear that he did, yeah. But it was still a weird point that he made, you know, because I'm not like the Scottish police. And somebody did legit think I was, oh well, doesn't matter. Let's see what he says.
I mean, not the type of meat that you would be getting when I meet you in the showers, Mitch.
I don't live in Scotland.
But the real meat of this entire discussion that we've been trying to get to.
It's kind of weird that he's bragging about his cock, you know. He doesn't know how big I am.
I have viewed studies. I've even looked at some of the stuff that people have...
Well, where are these studies? I don't see any studies here that he's linked. Where are these studies? Like, I don't see anything. He claims to have had studies on this. He's read studies, but I don't see any studies. But anyway, let's continue.
Actually sent to me, and so far all I'm seeing is they all conflict. There isn't really a definitive answer.
Fair enough.
Some are saying...
I never said that there was a definite answer to whether or not it's harmful, or if it's not harmful. I only said possibly. Just so you guys know. Everybody saw that bit.
That giving paedophiles the outlet actually prevents the...
I got a Streamlabs thing. Oh no. I can't read it out at the moment. I will at the end.
From molesting real world kids. Some are actually saying that giving them that only adds fuel to the fire and can result in more kids being molested. And it can actually normalise sexual attraction to kids and create even more pedos. And this is the area that needs looked at. If you speak...
It does, and you made a positive claim that it is harmful in those tweets. So why all of a sudden now are you saying, oh, well, maybe it isn't, we don't know. You categorically said it was. So you're actually trying to backpedal on this to try and make it look like you're the reasonable one and I'm not. That I'm the one who's jumping the gun. When literally, I'm responding as things are going on. There's just something not right about this video, guys.
To actual paedophiles, like I had the pleasure of doing during the whole Amos Yee debacle, they tell you that it's nothing to really do with the body for them. You know, there are grown women that actually do have small figures, but they're not interested in them. For pedos, it's the age. It's the age that does it. It's the age that matters to them. That was only a small sample of...
I don't know. I mean, that can definitely be a factor, you know. That is something that you could be attracted to, and age. It is. But, like, when Amos Yee is saying that, that's almost like... I don't know. It sounds to me like it's almost an excuse. Like, oh, it's not about the bodies, it's about the age. Like, how do they not... You must have some physical attraction, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be a paedophile, you know. I'm not saying he's a paedophile, it's, you know... Like, I know, he's very interested in banging me. See, that's the thing. He's in denial that he's, you know, a little bit gay. But, you know, I wanted to refrain from making these jokes, you know, about liking trap porn makes you gay or something. You know, I didn't want to make that joke. But yeah, he made very weird sexual jokes. But I'm alright, you can say that. I don't care. I'm not asked.
5.
He's not the only person to have done that.
So that isn't really hard data.
Oh, my stupid mouse. Let's get back a bit. Sorry, guys. Oh, I spoke over the our Lord and Saviour.
They tell you that it's nothing to really do with the body for them. You know, there are grown women that actually do have small figures, but they're not interested in them. For pedos, it's the age. It's the age that does it. It's the age that matters to them. That was only a small sample of 5 that I spoke to, so that isn't really hard data, but it just shows that that is an area that does need to get looked at more. The point I was building up to, even though the studies exist, they all conflict with each other. And even making lolly legal or illegal in certain cultures might have a different effect. Making lolly legal in one culture might prevent molestation. Making lolly legal in another culture might actually increase it.
Well, we don't know, do we? Because, as you say, these studies that you don't link conflict with each other, so we don't really know. But I never claimed to really know if it can or cannot. I only suggested it could. And when you look at Japan... Oh, but yeah, it's my OBS, guys, for those of you who want to know. It's OBS that's doing it. Ignore it, okay? It's OBS. It's just what OBS does. But, like, you know, I get that. That could be the case. But you're still ignoring the whole free speech angle at the moment, unless you're going to get to that. Instead, you'll talk about whether it's harmful or not. But I guess that's somehow linked to it. Is it harmful, and therefore, is it a free speech issue if it is harmful? If it's not harmful, then should it still be illegal or not because it's representing kids? So we've got two different arguments here. We've got the argument from obscenity from some people. I'm not saying Dankula is about that or not. It implied from his tweets he was. And then we've got, I guess, the more scientific argument that it could, not that we have any actual evidence yet, that it could be harmful or it could not be harmful. Therefore, it should be illegal. Because it could be harmful, because these studies say so. So which one does he actually think? Does he think because it's to him obscene that it should be illegal? Because he said it's not a free speech issue? Or is it the harmful aspect of it? Or is it both? It could be both. It's harmful, obscene, and should not be legal because of that. And I guess we do need to talk about this thing, but because the whole harmfulness and, I guess, benign, but because the whole harmfulness thing has not yet been fully explored, how can we really use that as an argument? You know? We should then maybe discuss it as an artwork, an art form then. Surely. But the thing is, I don't know why he's saying this, because it's been proven that violent video games don't cause violence, and depictions of women in video games that are scantily clad and things like that, and even the sex in video games and these visual novels don't make people degenerates. Right, this has been proven. You're not going to automatically turn sexist or a bit of a degenerate because you happen to view these certain things, you know? These certain video games, these art forms. So I guess it's not much of a stretch to say that loli is the same, but again, we don't know yet. There's not been research on this part of it. But I don't know. Let's continue. I'm kind of forgetting what I'm saying here.
So when it comes down to whether or not lolly porn should be legal or illegal, I don't know.
Well, what do you mean you don't know? You made a categorical point at the very beginning of this that it's not a free speech issue. So then, you don't know if it should be legal or illegal, but you say it's not a free speech issue. So if it's not considered part of free speech, then it's something that we can't do, we can't make, we can't, like... Oh, I guess it would be free expression, but that's implying that it's not something that should be protected, that it's something that should be illegal. That's what you think, surely. Or you, on that particular day, because it's clear that you have some kind of cognitive dissonance, from what I can gather, that you don't know what to think, because you are somebody, you do truly believe, you are somebody who does believe in freedom of speech, at least in regards to stuff that isn't lowly, but then you know that the lowly thing conflicts with that, from what I can gather, and you just can't make your mind up, which is, I guess, fair enough. But I don't know, like, when you say, on one hand, it's not a free speech issue, but then you say you don't know if it should be illegal or legal or not, you're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting yourself, Dankula. You need to think about what you're saying. I need to think about what I'm saying too. But at least I know that I'm trying to stay as consistent with my principles as I can, you know?
And you don't fucking know either, Mitch, because...
I never claimed to know. I never claimed to know, Marcus. I never claimed to know. I said possibly, maybe. That's not me making a definite statement, unlike what you did on Twitter. I kind of feel this retraction was more about damage control than anything else. But again, I don't know. I'm just asserting again, and I can't assert. It's pointless, because he's asserted my motivations throughout. And then he claims in this one bit that I don't know that I think I know. I don't know. I said possibly, maybe. Because I know I can't make outright statements like that as if it's fact.
Because right now the studies and information are so divided on it and no one actually has a definitive fucking answer. So
Well, that's what you claim anyway, you know. Show me these statistics, you know.
what I'm trying to say is we should maybe wait for a bit more.
But what do you mean we should wait? I remember somebody on Twitter said something. I got into a bit of a fight with this guy, but he's still right in what he has to say. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. It's in my notifications. Oh, Mitch is quoting somebody. Yeah, quoting somebody can be using an argument. At least that's an academic thing. With a study shenanigan. Here's what he says. Out of nowhere, you came up with a study shenanigan asking academics to respond and solve the question for you. Meanwhile, you advocate to err on the side of caution. You seem to imply the caution side is declaring drawings illegal and waiting, shifting the burden of proof. Well, let's just see if he actually says that. Because, yeah, he has definitely shifted the burden of proof onto me. Because I never even made a definite statement on that. I said potentially.
Information, and until then, err on the side of caution.
Err on the side of caution. But he still make these brain dead tweets.
And let's not make any rash decisions that could possibly lead to people being hurt on either side. Right.
Well, why did you do that initially then? Ah, well.
I don't think that's hypocritical or me being a prick to.
So, saying that Lolicon isn't a free speech issue is not hypocritical? Really? Because that's what people were criticising you for. You didn't say that initially, okay? You're saying this now because you realise that that's not good optics for you. So now you have to present a bit more of a, I don't know, reasonable side of things to make it out like, oh, I'm not actually that bad. I don't really think that, even though you said that. And you didn't retract it either. Because you've not retracted it. You just say, I don't know. You've not even, like...
Wait for more information and err on the side of caution.
Wait for more information, guys. But it's not a free speech issue, so therefore let's just let it be illegal, you know? It's an art form. This art should remain illegal and we should err on the side of caution that we don't really know. What? That's a cop-out. That's a massive cop-out. I think it should be legal. You know, saying that phrase, dead agent. Wait for a bit more evidence. Shift the burden of evidence onto me. Okay. God damn, he shouldn't have made this video if he feels that bad.
Fucking hell. Basically, a further conversation needs to be had here. Say that more research comes out, and it states that making lolly legal and giving paedophiles that outlet actually reduces real-world child molestation. Okay, so even though morally I don't like lolly porn, I wouldn't let my...
The thing is, his original tweet... let me just remember the timestamp for this. 27:13. Let me just get to his initial tweet in my video, just to save us time. Oh wait, no, I have it on my computer. Oh, I don't want to go on my computer. Fuck this. I mean, you get into my folder. No, I don't want to do that. Here we are. I think it's around 6 minutes. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah. No, wrong one. That's the wrong one. It's round about here somewhere. God damn it, I hate this shit. This is the problem with streams, you know. Oh fuck it, I'll bring it up. Ah, shit, I'm lazy, guys, ignore me. Right, let's just go on browser, would it be? Yeah, hang on, I know what I'm doing. Sorry guys, I'm just not used to this. Window capture 3. God damn it. My mouse is running out of power, so it's being a bit weird. Window capture. Window capture. Where is it? There it is. Got it. It's this one, I think. Right, can you see that, guys? Just out of interest. No, you can't see it, so it's my browser thing that I need. Browser. Nope, it's not doing it for me either. Feck. Oh, I should. I'm really bad at OBS, guys. So I can't bring it up. I'll just have to look through the video to see this. Come on. Oh. he talk? Is this it? When did he say it? Oh no, unless he's cut that out of the video. Ah, shit. Alright, now I've got to go on browser. Oh my god. Browse local file, go to Lightshot. Sorry guys, I'm having a boomer moment, I know. This is legit a boomer moment, and this is going to be really good material. I know. It's here somewhere. That's the demo of a... Thank you, Loli. That's it. Is it that one? Let me just open that. I just need to check if this is the one. No, wrong one. It's... Is it that one? No, wait, not that one. That might be something else. Yeah. I remember now. I took the screenshots in reverse order. Shit, I might have lost it. Shit, did I not put that in my video? Am I actually retarded? Shit. There it is. Literal child porn is not free speech. That's it. Let's see if that actually shows up now. I don't know if it will. Nah, it's not showing up. Feck it. But anyway, he said literal child porn is not free speech. So... I don't know. What's he trying to say? But anyway, I've forgotten my point now. I think most people won't be watching now.
Don't like lollipop. I wouldn't let my own sensibilities stand in the way of something that could ultimately lead to children being protected. So...
Think of the children. Judging from that tweet, that's not something about you wanting to protect children. More, you just think because it portrays children, fictional children, it's obscene, which it is, but whatever. Therefore, it should be banned. Because literal child porn should be banned. But now you claim that it isn't literal child porn; it's simulated child porn, and now we need to just wait for the facts to come in. When before you were very you were very much of the opinion that it's not a free speech issue, it's literal child porn, therefore, if it's child porn, it should be banned, because child porn is banned in pretty much every country, especially in our country. So it should remain in its illegal state, right? That's what you're inferring. That's what people have an issue with. But I don't know.
Despite the fact that I find lolly morally reprehensible.
Yeah, I don't find it particularly nice either. I find it degenerate.
I would want it to be allowed because, in the long run, it would help people.
But that's not what you said initially. But he's just joking, guys. He's retracted that, even though he didn't.
However, if research came out that showed making lolly legal actually increased child molestation and there was a definitive link, then I would ask for it to remain illegal.
I know,
now, lolly being a right to freedom of speech and a right to freedom of expression is something else entirely, because art, no matter what it depicts, should be protected.
So, but lolly is art. Dankula. Lolly is art. It's art. But because it's art that depicts something that is a taboo, therefore work needs to be done. Academics need to make sure categorically that this is not harmful. Do you understand why people compared you to Nita Sarkeesian? I mean, it's art. I don't understand how in every other study about art, it's shown that art cannot really influence people in the way that you're implying that lolly could influence people. Like, violent video games don't make people violent. So-called sexist video games don't make people sexist. The male gaze doesn't exist and doesn't make men sexist towards women in films or even in games. I mean, this is a hypodermic needle theory that they say in media studies, I think, is what he's implying, and that people just, soak in the information and they don't think about it in their head, or they just, they just take it at face value, and that informs them or something and makes them liable to be, influenced, when really that's not the case at all. Like, he's just all over the place. At this point now, I don't know what he believes. I don't think he does either.
It should be. But the problem is,
even
even at that,
look at his face. I mean, look at his face then. Like, hang on.
Should be. But the problem is...
See, look, that's somebody who's struggling in his head with cognitive dissonance. He's struggling. He doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't know what to think. And that's okay, you don't have to know what to think.
Even at that, Lolly, despite what you may think of it, is a form of art.
Yes, it is.
It's a morally reprehensible, terrible form of art, but it's a form of art.
As was the Nazi pug joke to some people. I personally don't think it was morally reprehensible, but to some people it is. But it's different when it's not sexual. You know, I was thinking about this, actually. Human beings, it's like violence, you know, we don't like it. We don't even like particular depictions of violence. I'm already Tracer. Good one, Demon. I like that. Oh god, don't lose my train of thought. You know, but on the whole, we're okay with depictions of violence. On the whole, it just, for some people, it depends on the medium that it's in. I mean, there's literally a whole art form or some kind of concept called the aesthetics of violence. You know, that's something that I guess you would say Quentin Tarantino does with his films, and he said videos. You know, they're very violent and things like that. Also, some of them have sexual components in them as well. But then when we talk about things like sexuality, when we try to depict things like sexuality, people go ape shit. And I understand why. I do understand why. It's a very touchy subject with, you know, with consent and things like that. But violence is, you know, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, I don't understand why one is generally more preferred than others, but one isn't when it comes to representations in art, I guess. Oh, there's something in my head, but I just can't quite get it out there.
Nonetheless, an art should be protected under freedom of expression and freedom of speech.
Yes, it should.
And here is where we have a problem.
Yes.
This is going to cause a lot of fucking art.
God, I think Louis was right. I really did make him hoist himself by his own petard here, because he's made some contradicting statements.
Arguments, right? So, yous all have fun in the fucking comments, boys, right?
Yeah, let us handle it, eh? Jesus Christ. Oh yeah! Tail feature.
See when it comes to freedom of speech, right? You know, it's something that I support, but everyone keeps thinking that I am infallible. I am not.
I never claimed you're infallible. I just assumed you were consistent, that's all.
I get things wrong.
I got things wrong in this video.
A lot of things wrong sometimes. Right,
But is he now admitting that he was wrong? But he's still not... It's... I don't know what he thinks. I don't think he knows what he thinks. So when he made that statement that it's not a free speech issue, he was jumping the gun there, he knew it, and it makes him look hypocritical. But I think it's weird. On the one hand, he thinks it should be illegal, but then on the other hand, he doesn't, because he knows it's art. Cognitive dissonance, people, it's fucking horrible. It really is.
Just because I say something in relation to free speech doesn't automatically make what I say correct, right? I would advise everybody to go out and do their own research on everything that I say, okay? Like, don't just...
And yeah, you weren't correct on it's not a free speech issue. It's art, and it's not even real. It's not even real, like, depiction. It's not like child porn with a camera. It's using a stencil or whatever, you know, whatever they use to make digital art.
Don't just because I'm seen as the free speech guy, it doesn't mean that just because I say something on free speech makes it gospel.
Exactly, and he's right. Like, but it's the nature of human beings to idolise people and to assume things that they're not. I completely understand that, and that's like his best point in this whole video. That in some ways, it is a bit on us to assume that he was a little bit... I don't think he's infallible. I mean, I disagree with him on Scottish independence, you know? I think he contradicts himself with that as well. You know, joining UKIP, but he's for Scottish independence, but whatever. I know why he joined UKIP, and he can do whatever he wants. But, like, I already knew that. I don't think his reasons for independence are particularly logical. But, like, whatever. That's my opinion. He thinks it's logical. Fair enough. And he's not infallible. But the thing is, this isn't really an excuse. Because if you come out and say that you're for unfettered free speech, which you claim to be, you have said that on numerous occasions, and then you turn around on Twitter and say that Loli isn't a free speech issue, or well, you said literal child porn isn't a free speech issue, then it makes people assume you're a hypocrite. And jumbled up, confusing videos like this doesn't help, because now I don't know what you truly stand for on this particular issue. But then again, I don't think you do either.
You're automatically correct, right? Please don't think like that. Personally, for me, I just want more information. I know that deep down, I should just directly be supporting Loli, because it is freedom of speech and it is freedom of expression. It's just morally bringing myself to do that is a pretty difficult thing.
But it's not so difficult for you morally to defend people like Millennial Woes. I mean, it's not morally difficult for me, you know, to defend people's right to say what they want to say in regards to should they be an ethno state or not. As a mixed race guy, I don't find it hard, you know. Would I want it banned if it actually did increase child molestation? Well, then there would be no choice, would there? Tail feature. If it was categorical, if it was scientifically proven, objective fact, that it would probably have to be, wouldn't it? Because at that point, it's like libel. And I mean, okay, this is a weird analogy, but like, it's like by that point it would be like libel and slander, lies and misrepresentations of people, things like that. You know, defamation can harm people. Because you can claim that somebody is a thing, say like, oh, they're a communist, go get them, or something. No, you can say they're a communist when they're not. And this, say for example, this is in a particular sensitive era of history, like for example, McCarthyism, or just after the First World War, with the Red Scare, that person could get his head kicked in by an angry mob, you know, and that's why we have things like libel and defamation. It would be, I guess, on par with that, I guess, if you know what I'm trying to say, guys. You know, I hope people understand what I'm trying to say there. I'm not trying to suggest that it's the same. It would be the same as libel. I'm trying to, I don't know. I think you know what I'm trying to say.
So I'm kind of hoping that I see information that, you know, shows that it actually decreases molestation, so that I can...
But what if it does? If it neither increases nor decreases, then I guess he would then say it should be legal. But then it's morally reprehensible, and he's struggling to, you know, come to the terms that, yeah, it's morally reprehensible and it should be protected, as if he doesn't really want it to be, because it's morally reprehensible. Well, they claim to be inspired. That's the thing, Last Go Getter. But it could easily just be, a deflecting argument in court. Like, oh, it wasn't me who did it. It was the games that made me do it. You know, I know, Tail Feature. I'm just trying to explain my point that it would have to be, wouldn't it, if that was proven to be the case? But like, it could be proven to have neither effect. You know, because then once that's been, if that was proven to be the case, that there's a neutral thing, it doesn't do anything, it just exists, then the argument we then have is the moral argument. Morally, should we ban it? Morally, should we unban it? That's not a word. Legalise it.
Just so that I can morally bring myself to actually defend it, right? Like I said, I'm not perfect. When it comes to free speech and freedom of expression, I'm not perfect. There are
no perfect victim, guys.
things that I genuinely do not like.
But I don't see that as an excuse. I'm not perfect, guys. It's fine, Tail Feature. Don't worry about it. I was actually going to do a different video today, but I got bored of editing it, so I decided to do this instead. I was going to do this on Friday, but I got bored. And I can go to the library another day. But, like, well, what was I saying? Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Let me just listen to what you were saying again. Live streams, guys, you know, I can't just make multiple takes.
When it comes to free speech and freedom of expression, I'm not perfect. There are things that I genuinely...
That's the thing, like, that's not an excuse for being inconsistent. That's what I'm trying to say. That's not an excuse for being inconsistent and hypocritical.
Do not like, right? Even though I know...
I don't like what Millennial Wolf says about certain things, but I still think he should say it, and I have no qualms about defending his right to say that. And I don't even like, for example, let's try and think of an artistic example. That's a bit, I don't know. Well, I don't like some racial caricatures of, say, mixed race people, especially when they're made to mock me and make me look like something, you know, like in the old cartoons, things like that. But do I think that should be censored? No. Even though I find it horrible and it's directed at me, for example, no, I don't think so, because I think that can be used against the racists, you know? But, I don't know, maybe that's not the best analogy, but again, I don't seem to have this problem.
That, in the sake of fairness, I should be supporting it. It's hard, right? It's difficult.
I've got you here, haven't I? All the bravado in the last 11 minutes. Is it 11? 29 minutes, sorry. All this bravado, and I've got you here. Because you don't know what to think. I've raised some good points, and you don't know how to actually respond to them.
It's a hard thing for me to do.
It is hard,
I
isn't
hope
it?
You can just appreciate that it is a hard thing for me to support that.
I totally appreciate it, but like, don't go around saying that don't start having all this bravado about me being like misrepresenting you, things like that. Yet when you actually try to discuss what I'm actually trying to say in the video, you can't answer me. I've got you here.
Type of stuff. Okay then, but
he did lose Hitchens.
In the meantime, people, I know that Louis Levi wanted to have a chat with me about it. I'm open for a chat with it. You know, if Mitch wants to come on and have a nice big chat about it, I'm down for doing that as well.
And then we can discuss it.
It's just that this is an area where a further conversation needs to be had. Okay? But in the meantime, don't load the lolly.
Head pat the lolly, I agree.
That was shit. You know what, I don't give a fuck, right? I'm fucking sick. Fuck off.
To be fair though, that's what a lot of people were saying. You don't loot the lowlies, you head pat the lowlies. Well, he didn't say that at the beginning though, Tailed. He only said he didn't know after he had a backlash. So it does make you wonder, you know. I don't know. Oh, is it targeted at pedos? Oh shit, I didn't realise. I thought it was... But anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I guess that's the end of the video, isn't it? Because it'll be the thing. Well, there we go. Personally disappointed. I thought the level of roasting would be better than homoerotic jokes and mentioning that I embarrassed myself on the stream once. Nah, it's not going to be deleted, guys. Don't worry. You can watch it. But even if I did kind of show my DMs earlier, it's okay. It's only Twitter. And what I was saying was nothing like terrible or anything. But yeah, I don't think Dankula was convincing anyway. I don't think, apart from roasting myself as a person, at least what he thinks I am like as a person. Your excellent intro and outro music, Tailed. Okay, we'll play that for you. Hang on.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube. Everybody should subscribe. Yeah.
You'll see this in a bit. Okay, I need to talk now. Most excellent. Pillar Men theme. Ask him to follow me and we can discuss if I can find the time to do it. Like, does he want it to be me and Louis with him and somebody else? Or does he want it to be one-on-one? Like, I don't know. I mean, personally, I think it should be 2-on-2. I think that would just logistically makes the most sense. I know there's time zones, but like, we would have it in one stream. It would be the one stream that we can actually talk to each other, I guess. Like, it could be... I know Sargon's already done a debate with Dankula. This is on my channel, yeah. But like, if he's open to talking about it again with Dankula, or we can get somebody else to talk with Dankula, because I'm not a fan of 2-on-1 debates. But if you wanted to do it 1-on-1, we can do it 1-on-1. 3-on-1. Is that a sexual joke, Joe? But like, yeah, my intention wasn't to misinform anybody or to take Dankula out of context. I personally don't think I was doing that. And if I did, well, I apologise, but I don't think I did. I just missed out some things without realising it. And that's about it. I think he misrepresented what I was trying to do. I was honestly trying to just debate the principle. And probably got bogged down. I can't give him an imperial... Actually, he's not that tall, is he? He's not that much smaller than me, taller than me. If I bulk up a bit, he won't be making me his pitch. He's about 5'10" or 11. I'm 5'8.5". Like, I don't know. If I get big enough, he won't be putting his I guess you could say his Buddha into me. Press F to have lowly. You remember the scat man shall fear the lowly. I hope he enjoyed the meme that I sent in though. Oh god. To be fair, I'm good with my fingers, just so you guys know. Is that right? I don't know, you don't look particularly tall, Count. How are you doing? But anyway, follow me on Twitter account and we can discuss it, like because I'm up for a debate. I can't really do one tomorrow. Maybe Friday. What is it? I might be able to do Friday, but I don't know. If you want to do it a 2 versus 2, things like that, just DM me and we'll talk. But I'm not gonna bulk up anytime soon. That takes months and months and months. And no, I'm not doing Andy Warski. Okay, I'm not challenging you. No, was it Tonkasaw? I'm not challenging you to a fight. I'm not like that. Fight me IRL. But anyway, I can't really think of anything else to say other than what I said in this video. So I mean, stream. It was really just a response. I will read the super chat that I got. For some reason, it also makes the Streamlabs thing. Your position is right. It's been hypocritical. Thank you. Here's a meme in oh no, I'm not an Ultra Smurf. Please no. I don't want to be an Ultra Smurf, Zia Gold. But I don't know, maybe Danker's 6'4", I don't know. But anyway guys, I'm gonna end it here. I can't think of anything else to say. So until next time, it's been your boy. And remember, head pats, not looting.